All right, wake up, everyone. Welcome to the recap, spoiler, and results edition of the Royal Rumble 2019. Just wrapped up finally. It has been a very, very long evening. The show started at 4 p.m. Central Time with the kickoff show. We had 2 hours of that. We did have 3 matches on the kickoff. And then at 6 p.m. Central Time, we began the actual Rumble pay-per-view show. And that went until just a minute shy of 11 p.m. Wow, this was a very, very long night. I pity anyone that's in attendance that still has to fight through the crowd to get to the parking lot, to get to their car, get out of the parking lot, drive to their house or their hotel, whatever. Hopefully they don't have to go to work tomorrow because, man, I attended the Royal Rumble in San Antonio in 2017, and it is a hassle. We sat in the parking lot for quite some time. We had to walk a very long way to get to our parking area because the parking area around the arena was completely booked up, which was ridiculous. You would imagine they have enough parking for your attendees. But yeah, so I very much pity anyone out there listening. If you are listening to this and you attended the show, hopefully, again, you get to your car safe and get home safe and everything. But man, I can just imagine you probably got to the arena probably around, 3 o'clock, 2:30 to find your seats, get some souvenirs, get some food, and then you're in your seat for the whole duration for the next 7 hours, and then again you got to turn around and get out of there. It's crazy. It's kind of strange how long these shows are becoming, especially on the big four, of course. Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, of course, being the longest one. That one was 8 hours last year. Oh man, who knows how long it's going to be this year. So we have just ended the Royal Rumble 2019, and it was a very interesting show. I was very impressed, actually. We had an amazing show again at TakeOver Phoenix just last night, which was an incredible show. If you're not watching NXT, I do recommend it. I don't care if you just watch it, once in a while, give it a try, but definitely check out the TakeOver shows because they really tune it up, and it's amazing. There's never been a bad TakeOver show yet. Okay, last night's was even said to be maybe around a B or so, and that's okay, all the other ones have been A's, so what do you expect from them, okay? The show was a great show last night, but the Royal Rumble now is my favorite pay-per-view of the year. It's one of the greatest because the Royal Rumble match itself is amazing. I love it. You get to see surprise entrances, you'd see people fighting other opponents you don't normally see. That was the great thing about the Rumble, growing up in the 80s and 90s, was you would see wrestlers fighting, mid-cards fighting the top stars that you would never see them actually fighting in regular, pay-per-view matches or on a Monday Night Raw, whatever. So that's what I love about the Rumble. You get to see all kinds of matchups you never see before. And we got a little taste of that throughout both women's and men's matches tonight, which was great. But I was really surprised because the matches themselves, for the most part, everything was good. There was a lot of good matches and a lot of good action. We're going to cover everything. We're going to go over all the results of the show. I've got several pages of notes here that I'm going to try to blow through as fast as possible to make this video not be as long as the actual show. Do my best for that. So let's go ahead and get to the kickoff show. We opened it up with the first panel. That's right, they had 2 panels. The first panel was Jerry Lawler, Coach, Beth Phoenix, and Booker T. Of course, they just share their predictions and thoughts on who's going to win the matches, the title matches, the Rumble match itself, etc. During this, we get a surprise visit with Carmella and R-Truth, and they do a little dance break, and they share about how they're both, entering at number 30 for the men's and women's Rumbles because they won the Mixed Match Challenge. Then we find out during this segment as well is that Cena is out of the Rumble, and they're playing it up that he's, quote, injured, but still, there's a lot of rumors going around that he's probably just shooting a movie, or the studio didn't want him to be in the ring to, take a chance on getting injured, things like that. Other thing that I've heard is the whole storyline with Lars Sullivan. If you're not familiar with this, Lars Sullivan was set to possibly do a storyline with Cena leading into Mania, where they have a match at WrestleMania. Lars Sullivan recently at a house show had a supposed anxiety attack, and due to this did not wrestle and hasn't wrestled for the past couple weeks now. And I think originally he was supposed to be in the Rumble match, and that would be where they set up him and Cena brawling and, plant the seeds for what would happen later at Mania. And since he was out, I guess that's why they pulled Cena, because, it's why bother having him in there just to get thrown out in a few minutes or whatever, if you're not going to do the storyline you wanted. And then they announced that Braun Strowman, who had been pulled from the Universal title match against Lesnar only a couple weeks ago and replaced by Finn Balor, Strowman is now in the Rumble match. So now he has another chance to win a title opportunity to challenge Brock or whoever is the WWE champion. But of course, he would have chosen Brock probably. That would have been his pick. If he indeed wins the match. So yeah. So we then get a Daniel Bryan promo where he's in the Chase Field Arena earlier in the day before the audience comes in, of course, and he's cutting a promo on the Chase Field Burger. And you need to check it out. It's a giant burger filled with all types of meat, and I think they had like 3 chicken nuggets on top through a toothpick or something like that. But it's one of those just, gross monstrosity burgers with various types of meat from all different animals, and then has like chicken nuggets on top, and it's, yeah. I think based on this promo alone, that Chase Field probably sold triple the amount of those burgers that they were expecting to sell, thanks in part to Daniel Bryan hating it. I'm sure a lot of fans, bought it in spite of it. So now we go to the ring, and we have our first match on the Kickoff show. It is Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, the Raw Tag Team Champions, versus Razor of AOP and Scott Dawson of the Revival. And the reason we have this match is because Rockstar Spud, yes, I know he has another name, but I'm calling him Rockstar Spud, the GM of 205 Live and the manager of AOP, just came back from speaking to someone in the back, saying that because of the other member of AOP being injured, he has made a deal to where one of the members of the Revival will team up with Razor to challenge Gable and Roode, and if they win, then either one of those tag teams will get a shot at the tag titles. Now, first thing to point out, whenever Bobby Roode and Chad Gable were making their entrance into the ring, the cameraman that follows them up the ramp is walking backwards, of course, aiming his camera at the wrestlers as they're walking up the ramp. He seemed like he forgot that the entrance ramp to this setting is curved at one point. It wasn't just a straight shot from the stage to the ring. And I guess as he was turning, he didn't see where he was walking, and he completely tripped, fell backwards, and it was very obvious. And he's just, hey, what a trooper. He kept the camera up as best as he could, but he completely just, fell backwards. It was funny. So Roode and Gable versus Scott Dawson and Razor. Not a whole lot really happened in this match. It was a very just, basic Raw match for an opening, matchup. In the end, Roode and Gable, they hit the neckbreaker splash combo on Dawson, and they get the 3 count. And that was about it. Now, back and forth between segments, we go to JBL and Charlie Caruso. They're on a stage off to the side of the entrance stage, doing various just, commentating on who they pick for different matchups. And during one of their segments, they get interrupted by Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley, who come out to just praise and say, hey, Bobby Lashley's the man, and he's going to win the Royal Rumble. Okay. Instead of defending the Intercontinental title, but whatever. Then we go to our second panel. That's right. Go into our second panel, and we have Coach Beth Phoenix, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels rocking a baseball cap and a sports coat, and David Otunga. From here, we go to our second matchup, which is the United States Championship match. Rusev defending against Shinsuke Nakamura, and Lana does make her appearance at ringside, so she is with Rusev. At one point, Shinsuke is removing the turnbuckle pad while Lana is standing on the apron yelling, "You're cheating!" The ref tries to get her to step down, but Shinsuke gets in Lana's face. Rusev runs up behind, but Shinsuke steps aside and bumps Lana off the apron where she grabs her leg. Rusev, kneeling down against the ropes, is yelling to Lana for concern, but Shinsuke hits a running knee to the back of Rusev's head, goes for the pin, and gets the victory. And new 2-time U.S. champion Shinsuke Nakamura. Our next matchup, number 3 on the Kickoff show, is the Fatal 4-Way Cruiserweight title match. Challengers Kalisto, Akira Tozawa, and Hideo Itami versus Buddy Murphy, the champion. Buddy Murphy hits Murphy's Law on Hideo Itami for the win and gets the victory and retains the title. Basically, this was your very fast spot fest match. Not much different happened than any other cruiserweight match. There wasn't really any kind of real big moment that stole the whole matchup of the show, but it was just a good cruiserweight match. All right, from there we go on to the main show, and our first matchup on the show is the SmackDown Women's title match. Asuka defending against Becky Lynch. Good back and forth match. Lots of trading submission attempts. Many times, both of them going for each other's finishers. You see Asuka going for the armbar. You see Becky going for the Asuka lock. Lots of attempts on just various arm submissions. Lots of good back and forth. At one point, you get a wicked spinning neck breaker by Asuka to Becky on the apron. They both landed on their backs, but it did look very stiff. So we have Asuka applying the Asuka lock. Becky rolls over on her stomach. Asuka holds on and flips over Becky to increase the pressure, and Becky taps out, and Asuka retains the women's title. Very good match. Second matchup, we have the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. The Bar of Sheamus and Cesaro versus The Miz and Shane McMahon. The Bar is repping the Dudleys very well with their purple camo gear. So we have Cesaro holding up Shane as Sheamus runs to hit the Brogue Kick, but The Miz runs in and pushes Cesaro into the way, and he gets hit by the Brogue Kick instead. The Miz connects with a skull-crushing finale to Sheamus. Shane then climbs up to the top rope, connects with a shooting star press on Cesaro, pins 1, 2, 3, and new tag team champions, The Miz and Shane McMahon. That match was entertaining, but very surprising at how they won pretty decisively. And obviously, this is just setting up something to happen in between now and Mania, where we end up with Miz versus Shane McMahon. There's no way they're going to keep the titles for very long. Third matchup on the main show, we got the Raw Women's title match. Ronda Rousey, the champion, versus Sasha Banks. This match was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Ronda pinned Sasha Banks after connecting with the Piper's Pit. This was just an amazing match, okay? This does not sum up the match enough. The match was very good back and forth. You had a lot of good moments with Ronda attempting to put the armbar. You had Sasha attempting to put the bank statement on her. You had multiple times where Sasha was trying to put the armbar on Ronda. And Ronda, again, is amazing in the ring. She has picked up the craft of pro wrestling like no other. And the way she sells anything that someone does to her is just amazing. And I wish other male and female stars would follow what kind of example she is setting, because I believe everything that she does in the ring, whether it's offense or defense, or when she's being attacked and having to sell any kind of attack that's being done to her, it just is amazing. And once again, a great match. And wow, this was Ronda's first pinfall victory, okay? She's still undefeated in singles matches, and she's always won via the armbar submission, but this was the first time she pinned someone. So following the pinfall and Ronda gets the victory, Sasha and her stand up in the ring together, face-to-face, shake hands out of respect. Sasha leaves the ring and starts to walk up the ramp, then she stops. At the same time, Ronda has gotten out of the ring. She goes over to the side area there and gives her husband a kiss and congrats from her, or from him. And both Sasha and Ronda meet at the front of the ramp there, right by the ring. Sasha, again, extends her hand. They shake. You almost think, okay, any second now she's going to, hit her or turn on her or something. Instead, Sasha, they stop shaking hands, and she just throws up the four horsemen sign, the four horsemen, hand sign, of course, referring to the four horsewomen that were in NXT, and of course, the four horsemen women of UFC. So then they go back to camera shots back and forth between Sasha walking to the back and Ronda walking up the ramp, shaking hands and giving people high fives. And you almost think any minute now Sasha's going to turn around and attack her, and then they just go to another segment. That was a little funny at the end. I really was thinking they were doing this to build up some suspense that something else was going to happen after this, but nothing did. All right, next up we have the 30 women Royal Rumble matchup. This was great. This was only the second year they've had the match, and I really enjoyed this Rumble. It was really good. Only a couple things in the match did I not approve of. So I'm going to read off real quick so everyone knows who all was in this match. So starting off from number one. Number one was Lacey Evans. Number two, Natalya. Number three, Mandy Rose. Number four, Liv Morgan. Number five, Mickie James. Number six, Ember Moon. Number seven, Billie Kay. Number eight, Nikki Cross. Number nine, Peyton Royce. Number 10, Tamina. Number 11, Xia Li from NXT in the Mae Young Classic. 12 was Sarah Logan. 13 was Charlotte Flair. 14 was Kairi Sane from NXT. 15, Maria Kanellis making her return. She hadn't been in the ring in a long time. Number 16, Naomi. Number 17, Candice LeRae from NXT. 18 was Alicia Fox. Number 19 was Casey Catanzaro from American Ninja Warrior. I'm not sure if she's actually been in any wrestling matches, but she did a great job. But she may have been in NXT or the Mae Young Classic. I'm not sure. I don't know about her yet. Number 20 was Selena Vega, who was wearing a awesome Vega costume from Street Fighter. It was amazing. 21 was Ruby Riott. 22, Dana Brooke. 23 was Io Shirai from NXT. 24, Rhea Ripley from NXT, the NXT UK champ. Number 25 was Sonya Deville. 26, Alexa Bliss. 27 was Bayley. 28 was Lana. And now Lana comes out, and earlier in the night, of course, during the Shinsuke and Rusev match, she got knocked off the apron. They played up her ankle being taped up, and they had her come out and pretend like, she can barely get to the ring. She's trying to be a trooper, and she barely gets about halfway there. She falls to the ground. She's like, I can't do this. Well, number 29 is Nia Jax. Nia Jax comes up from behind and knocks down Lana and attacks her, and then Nia gets in the ring to join the Rumble. And at this point, Becky Lynch shows up, and Fit Finlay is outside of the ring there helping, figure out what's going on with Lana. And Becky Lynch approaches him, says, hey, I want in there. She can't go. I'm going in. How about put me in there? And it just seemed like, of all the ways that they could have added Becky Lynch to this match, okay, Becky lost against Asuka earlier in the night, and it just seemed obvious, okay, Becky's going to show up in the Rumble at some point. What is so hard about just having Becky's music hit and let the crowd just blow the roof off the place and have her enter the Rumble? You could have had Lana do a backstage segment for 2 minutes sometime during the show earlier in the night, as soon as the match was over with Rusev and Nakamura, and you could have her getting her leg taped up and just say, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to wrestle. And you could have Shane McMahon right there going, all right, we're gonna have to figure out someone else to put in your spot, and then just leave it at that. Obviously we know it's going to be Becky, but still give it a little mystery. The way they played this off, I did not like it. I just thought it took a lot of momentum from what was happening in the ring, and it took a lot of momentum from giving Becky that real big, boom, here she is. She's going to come in, and she's going to win the Rumble. But, of course, Finlay goes, yeah, go ahead. You can go in the ring, and basically Becky is taking Lana's spot. And then number 30 comes out, and Carmella. So Carmella has joined the Rumble, and that's all 30 enters. Now, only other part I did not like about the Rumble match, besides the way they did Lana, not being able to go, and then Becky taking her spot. In the middle of the whole Rumble match, you had Alicia Fox come out. Alicia Fox, during her entrance, which is like the first time we've seen her entrance music and everything played in for however long, she seemed more excited about that than actually being in the Rumble. But she danced like crazy getting into the ring. And then once she and Maria were in the ring together, they tried to partner up, and Alicia gives Maria her captain's crown or whatever, and Maria ends up stomping on it, and then Alicia Fox throws like a hissy fit on the ring. It was so bad. It just really stopped the momentum of the match right there. So those two moments are the only things I really had a problem with. So we get to the final four of the women's match. You have Bayley, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte. All right, so Becky Lynch has been knocked out of the ring, but she went through the ropes, and she's on the floor outside the ring. And as she's getting into the ring, as she's coming up the steps, Nia Jax, who's already been eliminated, shoves her off the ring steps, and she crashes to the floor, and it seems like she tweaked her leg or something. And they had to build up more suspense for some reason. Becky gets in the ring. She's really, saying, hey, fight me. I don't care. This is my moment. And it's just like they're adding more and more to this that they didn't need to. But you have Charlotte then just attacking the leg, and, really just, you don't think Becky's got a chance now because of everything that's been against her. And now she's got this leg issue now. And it just seemed like, again, you didn't need all this added to it. But in the end, of course, Becky Lynch does eliminate Charlotte, and Becky Lynch wins the Women's Royal Rumble. She is going to go to WrestleMania and headline, and she better headline and be in the main event spot. That's all I'm going to say now. So Becky Lynch is our winner. One point out, the longest person in the match was Natalya. She was in there for almost the entire thing. She was almost, 57 minutes, I think, is what they clocked her at. So, yeah, she was in there for a good long time. All right, now, the unfortunate spot of the come down match went to the next matchup, which is the WWE title match, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. Very tough act to follow after the women's match. You had a full hour-long Rumble match, and now you got to follow that. And to me, this match never got any momentum to be able to do so. Could have been because the crowd was exhausted after that, and you really needed a come-down match that was not a World Championship title match. You needed some kind of, again, back in the day we had the Diva matches, or you had some kind of silly gimmick match of some sort. You needed something in between here, or you needed a long video package segment to, give the crowd a chance to catch their breath and be ready for the next one. But to me, this match was lost in limbo, and it's weird because you had Daniel Bryan, the champion, against AJ Styles. These guys could easily tear the house down, but to me, it just seemed like this match never picked up in any kind of momentum. AJ goes to hit a enziguri on Bryan, but ends up hitting the ref by accident. Just then, Eric Rowan shows up at ringside. He comes in the ring. He choke slams AJ Styles. Bryan pins him. Ref wakes up. 1, 2, 3. Bryan retains the title. And Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan leave the ring together. What does this mean? Is this going to be a new stable of some sort? Is Bryan reforming the Wyatt family now and taking Bray's place? What is this? I don't know. But again, Eric Rowan was not dressed like the Bludgeon Brother character at all. He was wearing just a flannel shirt, a black t-shirt, and jeans. So take it for what you want. I don't know. Our next matchup is the Raw Universal title match. Brock Lesnar defending against Finn Balor. This matchup was very good. This one brought the crowd back up and got my interest peaked up again. As soon as the bell rang, what I predicted would happen did. As soon as the bell rang, Finn drop kicks Lesnar into the corner, hits the coup de grace, gets the pin, and is new champ. No, I'm kidding. No. That would be too easy. No. However, as soon as the bell rang, he did hit the drop kick, and he did just begin to unload on Lesnar, and that's all he did throughout the match. He would hit drop kicks. He would do flying body press, flying somersaults. He went outside the ring, hit some somersaults there. He hit 3 in a row. Lesnar was on the ropes the whole time, basically. At one point outside the ring, Balor is about to be power slammed through one of the announce tables, but he slides backwards off of Brock, shoves him forward into the corner of the table, and it looked like the corner of the table actually did jab Lesnar either in his lower abdomen or right into his crotch, something, because he sold it really well, and Lesnar's not the best salesperson at time, but he really sold it like he was hurt, and Balor hit him like twice into there. So after repeatedly attacking Lesnar by throwing his whole body at Lesnar over and over, Finn hits the coup de grace, but as soon as he goes for the pin, Lesnar locks in the Kimura lock, and Finn taps out. Very fast-paced match. I'm not sure if that was on purpose, if that was intentional because they were running long, because the show did run very long, but either way, it was very action-packed, and we needed it. We needed a fast-paced match. Afterwards, Lesnar celebrates, races up the title, then he goes over and German suplexes Finn 3 times, then he grabs his belt again, celebrates one more time, gets back over to Finn, F5s him, and then leaves carrying the title. But again, repeatedly, as he was walking out of the arena, he is still grabbing his lower abdomen area like he is sore, something's tender. So I really wonder if he actually did injure something or just get really hit really hard in a bad way down there. All right, we are now up to the 30-man Royal Rumble matchup, final match of the evening. We have JBL and Jerry the King Lawler joining the commentary team for this matchup. So we have 5 people at the ringside now. Crazy. There's just way too many people at the commentary table. We need to lower that. So this matchup started at 9:55 p.m. Central Time as I'm watching it, and it ended just shy of 11 o'clock. All right, so in order, this is the order of entrance for the Royal Rumble matchup. We have number 1, Elias. Number 2, Jeff Jarrett, the Hall of Famer. Number 3, Shinsuke Nakamura. Number 4, Kurt Angle. Number 5, Big E. Number 6, Johnny Gargano. Number 7, Jinder Mahal. Number 8, Samoa Joe. Number 9, Kurt Hawkins. Number 10, Seth Rollins. Number 11, Titus O'Neil. Number 12, Kofi Kingston. Number 13, Mustafa Ali. Number 14, Dean Ambrose. Number 15, No Way Jose with a giant conga line. Number 16, Drew McIntyre. Number 17, Xavier Woods. Number 18, Pete Dunne. Number 19, Andrade Cien Almas. Number 20, Apollo Crews. Number 21, Aleister Black. Number 22, Shelton Benjamin. Number 23, Baron Corbin. Number 24, Jeff Hardy. 25, Rey Mysterio. 26, Bobby Lashley. 27, Braun Strowman. 28, Dolph Ziggler. 29, Randy Orton. And number 30, of course, R-Truth. Now, leading up to the whole matchup real quick, not a whole lot happened in my opinion. This was a very safe Rumble. There was not any big major spots or moments. The hype moments that they thought they were showing us, I did not get any real thrill or excitement from. So During the matchup, we have lots of NXT guys showing up, like Johnny Gargano, Aleister Black, Pete Dunne. They got to do a little bit in there. The match started with Elias and Jeff Jarrett as number 1 and 2, and they teased doing a duet in the beginning, and then of course Elias just starts attacking Jarrett and eliminates him. He even hits him with the guitar at one point. But it was nice to see a lot of the NXT guys like Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano. That was really nice to see, and Pete Dunne as well. Pete Dunne had a couple of nice spots in there. Now, bringing back to number 15, when No Way Jose entered the match, he comes out with his big conga line. He gets in the ring. He immediately gets eliminated right away. And right after him comes Drew McIntyre. When Drew McIntyre comes up the ramp as No Way Jose is leaving, Jose starts to dance in front of him, and McIntyre just headbutts him and ends up clotheslining a couple of the conga line members, and then gets in the ring. Now, the other big thing, of course, that they always try to promote about the Royal Rumble match itself is you're going to see something with Kofi Kingston, because he's always had unique ways of preventing himself from getting eliminated. He will, he's had moments where he gets flipped over the ropes and he holds onto the rope, similar to how Shawn Michaels did. He's had the parts where he got shoved off the apron, landed on the barricade, and then managed to jump back onto the steps and get into the ring. Okay, little things like that. There was another time he landed on the announce table. He used one of the commentators' chairs and bounced towards the ring to get back in. Okay, I don't know how many years it's been that he's been doing this, but I think it's played out. On the show tonight, we had not one, but 2 different times that Kofi was pretty much eliminated from the show, and then for some reason they still were like, nope, he's still go back in because both feet didn't touch the ground. Kofi Kingston literally was thrown out of the ring, landed on his back. Then he puts his feet up on the barricade, flips over to the apron, so he's on his face, hands, and his legs are up on the apron. He then spins till he reaches the steps and gets him back in. Later on, whenever Xavier Woods is coming out, Xavier Woods walks up to the edge of the ramp right in front of the ring. Kofi ends up getting flipped out over the rope to where he basically does a sunset flip to Woods, landing completely on his back. I don't think he was supposed to do that. I think Woods messed up. I think he was supposed to actually catch Kofi and hold onto him better. But instead, Kofi lands literally on his back and is just on his back outside the ring. And instead, Woods has to try to hold his legs, and they end up flipping him up to where he's basically giving him a reverse piggyback ride and just walks over to the steps again, and Kofi gets in. Thankfully, as soon as that little segment happened and they go inside the ring, McIntyre eliminated both of them at the same time, so we got past that finally. One thing to back up I didn't mention is during the women's match, Naomi tried to do something similar to that. Naomi got flipped out of the ring onto the barricade. She walks tightrope style on the barricade to try to get to the corner where the steps are, and then she does jump from the barricade to the steps and gets up there, but as soon as she gets back up to the apron area, she does get eliminated by Mandy. Mandy comes up behind her and pulls her off the ring, off the apron. That was funny. All right, so as number 30 enters the Rumble match, which is R-Truth, he comes out, he starts singing along to his song. All of a sudden, Nia Jax comes out and jumps him from behind, attacks him multiple times, throws him into the barricades and the ring stage and everything else. And she looks up at the ring and starts making her way to the ring. And she puts herself in the Rumble match. And the commentators are like, oh my gosh, she's like the 4th woman in history to do this. And I was surprised they actually referenced Chyna, because Chyna was the first woman to ever be qualified to enter the Rumble match. And then Beth Phoenix has been in it, Karma as well. And so now Nia Jax has been somewhat in the Men's Rumble. But then it got a little weird because you had Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Andrade Cien Almas, Dolph Ziggler. You have them basically all attacking Nia Jax, and it's like, when you step back and look, you have 4 males beating up a woman in the middle of the ring here, yet the crowd started to cheer for it, which it's like, is it because they're attacking a woman, or is it because the fans really don't like Nia Jax, or both? So yeah, it was a little awkward, a little funny, and really odd to have that happen in 2019. I can understand 20 years ago in the Attitude Era, you had, again, men and women having matches and such, but very bizarre decision making here. yeah, I don't know what what was behind all this, but so we get to the final four of the men, and we have Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins, Andrade, and Strowman. We get down to Strowman and Rollins as our final two. In the end, Rollins pulls Strowman over the rope, top rope, similar to how Chris Benoit pulled Big Show out to win that Rumble in 2004. But Strowman does not hit the floor. He gets onto the apron, and Rollins delivers a curb stomp on the apron, and that eliminates Strowman, and Seth Rollins is your winner, and he is going on to possibly going to challenge Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Who knows? I doubt he's going to challenge Daniel Bryan, so we'll see. But either way, Seth Rollins is the winner, and that's how we end the show. As they were doing the big pyro, or not, well, there is no pyro. As they were doing the big celebration, and they don't even have a WrestleMania sign anymore. Remember how they would hang a sign up in the arena for the winner to point to? Now they just point to an LED screen that has the image on it. Well, we couldn't even have pyro or confetti even. Wow. So Rollins points to the sign and or the LED screen of it, and he's the winner. But as they were panning out to show the crowd, to me the crowd was just exhausted. They're just sitting there going, okay, cool, Rollins won. And it's not that they didn't want Rollins to win. People were always in favor of Seth Rollins winning the Rumble. But man, this show is long, and there was a lot of things that happened throughout the show, a lot of things to keep track of and remember. And now you have the victory celebration here, but people were just like, okay, I still got to focus on getting home. I got to get out of here. Got to find my car. Okay, there's a lot of things. I got work tomorrow, so a lot of things that people are probably thinking of instead of getting to celebrate that their guy won the Rumble match. But that's it. That's the Royal Rumble there. I thought it was a great show. I actually enjoyed it, and I found myself kind of trying to make sure I'm saying the right things here whenever I was tweeting throughout the show earlier, and I was saying to people on Twitter, I'm like, I'm enjoying this pay-per-view. It's a WWE live main roster pay-per-view, and I'm enjoying it. What are they doing here? It's crazy. Usually we're like, oh my gosh, is it ever going to end? But no, this was a great show. I'm really impressed that we had a good Royal Rumble pay-per-view. We had good matches, and we had the right people winning matches. It was amazing. So not disappointed one bit. I'm very happy with where they've gone here. All right, so we're going to wrap this up, but first of all, we've got to go to some fan questions that I had people sending me on Twitter. And remember, you can always follow me on Twitter during every WWE Network special live stream. Pop Culture Junk 2 is my handle, and if you ever want to get a shout out or send me any topics or questions to answer on these prediction and result videos, just do so whenever I tweet them out, and just follow me on Twitter and you'll know when I'm doing them. So we've got several people sending me questions, which is great. Let's see, we got Samantha S. asking, best debut for the Royal Rumble in both women's and men's. For me, I was really impressed with Pete Dunne, and I was really happy to see Johnny Gargano in there as well, but Pete Dunne, I think, had a little bit more of a breakout moment throughout the match, so that was probably my favorite one. For the women's, I would have to say it's a very close toss-up between Rhea Ripley, because she was very impressive, but also Lacey Evans. She was in there for quite some time. She entered at number 1, and she was in there for, a good 20, 30 minutes at least. So, yeah, she had a couple of good parts in there, too. But I think Rhea Ripley had some more standout moments. Steel Blondie asks, what do you think about WWE having fans take off their AEW shirts? I think that's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I attended one WCW Nitro show back in 1998, November of 98. I went to the Astrodome here in Houston. And, of course, during the Attitude Era, everyone brought signs to the arena. And there was a flutter of signs everywhere. And when I went into the arena, nobody checked your signs. They just, you put them up whenever you're in the arena. And I'm holding a sign up that said Goldberg sucks because I didn't like Goldberg. I'm a Stone Cold fan. I wasn't a fan of Goldberg. I was like, no, Goldberg sucks. He's a cheap imitation of Austin. And I'm holding the sign up, and one of the security guys walks over to me, grabs it right out of my hand, and rips it in half right in front of me. He's like, nope, you can't put that up here. So, yeah, I was like, when I saw people saying about the AEW shirts, they've done that at other shows as well, I've heard. And I think it's ridiculous they did it here even. And I saw that the Young Bucks posted on Twitter saying, hey, if you want to come to our shows and you want to wear WWE merch, we don't care. Just, enjoy yourself. I think it's dumb. It makes no sense. Competition is good for everybody, so just just go with it. It makes no sense. Still Blondie also asked, do you feel the pay-per-view was too long? Yes, I do. I mean, we've got 2 Rumble matches now that we're going to have every year for the foreseeable future, which I'm fine with. I'm happy that both the men and women now get Rumble matches. That's fine. But yeah, in between there with those other matches, like a couple of these matches could have been shorter or just kept off. I mean, if you have 2 Rumble matches, I think really we had previous Rumbles in the past where you maybe only had a total of 4 matches, including the Rumble. So we had 6 matches on the main card. That was 2 women's title matches, 2 men's world title matches, and then 2 Rumble matches. I mean, it goes on and on. There's a lot in here. And then we had the tag title match, of course. So it's like there's a lot to do here. They maybe could have squeezed in more into the kickoff show if they want to do that. Or, again, just limit it. Because, we had 6 matches on the main show. And that was, from 6 to 10? That's 4 hours. Last night at TakeOver, we had 5 matches in a 2.5-hour show. It shouldn't be that long. Now, again, yes, 2 of the matches are Rumbles, so you've got to figure 2 hours goes to the Rumble matches at least. So, yeah, I do think they're too long, and it can drain. And I've been in the arenas. I went to Survivor Series in Houston here not last year, in 2017. I went to the Survivor Series in Houston, and that show was long. I mean, for other reasons, of course. The matches were not very eventful. I was regretting halfway through the match getting tickets to that. We had gone to TakeOver the night before, and it was amazing. TakeOver War Games was incredible. But the next night at Survivor Series, I was like, I'm ready to go. I want to see these stars in person. Some of them I hadn't seen in years, and some I hadn't seen yet either at all. But I was like, man, this is a long night. So, yeah. Especially if it's a Sunday night. People got to go to work, got to go to school. Okay, it's rough. I got to go to school tomorrow. So yeah, they do get to be too long, and I think they need to condense it. Josh Floberg asked, best match of the night. For me, it's going to be Sasha versus Ronda. That was a great match. I really, really enjoyed it. Right behind that would be Asuka and Becky. That was also a great match. And then number 3 would be the women's Rumble. That's how I'd place them in order. So yeah, the women stole the show tonight for me. It was a great match. He also says Becky versus Ronda at Mania. That it's got to happen. I mean, it has to. Why have Becky win the Rumble here and then you still have Ronda undefeated? They need to have the match at Mania, and it needs to end the show. That needs to close the show. We've just had Seth Rollins win the Rumble, and he's probably going to challenge Lesnar, but that should not close the show. That should be mid-card match or middle-of-the-card match. Ronda versus Becky should be the very first ever women's main event at WrestleMania. Just book it, and the crowd will be happy. There's no reason not to do it. All right, that's all the questions. Thank you so much, everyone out there, for sending those in. I appreciate that. And again, remember, if you want to follow me on Twitter, Pop Culture Junk 2, I'm live tweeting through every WWE Network special, live stream, and so forth, whatever they want to call it. And you can check out my thoughts right then and there. Also, remember to always check me out on YouTube anytime. I've got all kinds of unboxings and reviews, wrestling related and others, so stay tuned for that. Also, remember to check out my Mystery Mini Monday. I'll be updating that tomorrow. We got a brand new episode coming out, so check that out as well. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed the Royal Rumble matches. I hope you enjoyed the whole pay-per-view. And if you did, or you didn't, leave me comments below and share with me your thoughts on everything we just saw. Well, guys and gals, it's been a long night. I'm going to wrap things up, and I will see y'all again on my next review, predictions, spoilers, or unboxing, or something else. So I'll talk to y'all later, and hopefully everyone out there can get a good night's sleep. Talk to you later. This is PCJ, the Pro Wrestling Junkie, the Pop Culture Junkie. Remember, to me, wrestling is always going to be real, and I'm signing out.